Watch the whole video to find all the hidden anime girls. Blind people of Reddit who have done acid. What did you see? Here's a great quote from this article about a blind 70-year-old former rock musician's experience with acid. I never had any visual images come to me. I can't see or imagine what light or dark might look like, Mr. Blue Pentagon told the researchers. But under the influence of LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide, also known as acid, sounds felt unique, and listening to music felt like being immersed in a waterfall, he said. The music of Bach's Third Brandenburg Concerto brought on the waterfall effect. I could hear violins playing in my soul, and found myself having a 1-hour-long monologue using different tones of voices. LSD gave everything height. The sounds coming from songs I would normally listen to became three-dimensional, deep and delayed. I could hear violins playing in my soul. This is peak hallucinogen speak. I'm legally blind. I've done acid and mushrooms. My blind spot lit up with cool visuals, probably the same as if you closed your eyes. And you people are stupid AF if you think text-to-speech and screen readers, along with other special software and apps, are not available for blind and low vision people to use computers and the internet. That's kinda what I was thinking, but cool dude. Not related to the acid part of the topic, but similar. One of my friends has an older brother who was born blind. I was hanging out at their house one night and I asked him what it was like for him to have dreams. Well, he certainly never has any visual dreams, they are all touch and sound. He also said they are really strange and out in the left field. The way he said it kind of spooked me. I could only imagine. I'm legally blind, colorblind, photosensitive, and I have nystagmus. I've done shrooms and everything turned neon orange and purple for a bit one time. I can say that doing shrooms definitely helps me see color more, which is nice, since everything seems very muted for me most of the time, but probably not the colors I should be seeing. Salvia was a ducking nightmare, but not because of the visuals. The visuals were awesome. Childhood kaleidoscope toys are anyone, but no one ever told me I shouldn't try to move while under the influence of salvia. Good thing you can't really move, or I'm pretty sure I would have broken something flip-flopping around trying to figure out why I couldn't really move or stand up. I was legit scared the first time, because I thought I had seriously ducked myself up. Also, that shit smells horrible. I never knew a plant could smell so much like rotten garbage in feet. FYI, most blind people can still see. Truly blind people are super duper rare, and it's usually not something that is had since birth. All of my conditions have been there since birth. I have no idea what normal vision is like. Asking my friend's mother who is blind, she did it while in college, and said that she would feel things and hear strange noises. Back in the 80s, while selling tie-dyed shirts at a Dead concert. While this sounds cliche, some guys parked their blind friend next to us because we weren't going anywhere, I guess. His name was Charlie, and he was 20, blind since birth, studying history in college, and wasn't wearing any pants. I'm a female, as was my friend selling with me. We asked Charlie all kinds of questions. We were sober, since we were working. A lot of what he said he was experiencing was heightened sensory feelings. He spent a long time in crab position enjoying kind of sliding his butt along the grass, and then his penis wasn't sexual, it was tactile. It was pretty hysterical. For a while he would talk about how different songs tasted. We did let him feel our faces and arms and stuff. Of course we tried to describe what we could see, but he had no reference to comprehend it. The closest he came to hallucinating was he would smell things that related to an experience and say he was back at a time when such and such happened. I've been to over 30 Dead shows, but that one was the most memorable because of Charlie. If he's out there, or you know him, have him hit me up. I imagine the trip would be different for people blind since birth and a person who had experienced sight. Literally the only interesting response. I mean, it's sorta obvious. This post is a train wreck. I'm sorry, but you should have never given us the train to begin with. We are blind, you know. As a blind person, I have always wanted to try acid to find out. Also, as a blind person, I'm so tired of people assuming we cannot get online. It is 2020. Technology exists. Google it, people. Listen up, you dumb ducks. Speech to text apps exist. There are literally blind programmers. Why is everyone assuming they can't use computers? Nothing to see. I was on my acid pills. A cumulative escalation of tidbits and tummy esquires. Are you tripping when you wrote that comment? Well, my eyes dilated a lot, and I was able to see the water vapor in the air, which made the objects behind it seems distorted. I also saw the energy that binds the universe. Yeah, the time knife. We've all seen it. Let's get back on track. But I've read like 30 comments asking how can blind people see this post, and I just wanna ask all those people if they can see other comments. Clicked on this post and my screen went black for about 4 seconds. Haha, Reddit. Real funny. I was seeing everything in black and white with explosion of color. And also the ice around me started lifting at some point. Didn't care much because I was mentally on the moon. Not blind and have never done acid, but I just ate a hot dog and it was pretty good. Edit. I'm a dumbass. I didn't see the blind people part. I'm not blind. LSD and mushrooms definitely gave me visuals, more like distortion, but that didn't even come close to the intense visuals I got from DMT. I've done it a few times and have gone into it with a pretty good idea of what I wanted to get out of it. I closed myself up in my basement with the lights on dim and good music playing. I also meditated for a good 10 to 15 minutes beforehand to calm my nerves. I'm always super anxious going into that drug, and if you're not nervous, then I don't think you fully appreciate what that drug can do for you. Anyway, I basically try to keep meditating through the trip. I keep my eyes closed and try to focus only on breathing. The second you exhale the smoke though, you're literally in a different visual universe, even with your eyes closed, and the visuals are ducking intense. Everyone's experience is different, but each time I've done it, I've pretty much seen the same thing. It's like I'm floating in a 3-dimensional grid of geometric shapes that are continuously ebbing and flowing with my breath. Honestly though, so much more shit happens in the maybe 5 minutes that you're high that I've forgotten most of it. I definitely remember the feeling of absolute humility and appreciation for life in general. It sounds stupid, but it's like you're plopped into a universe that's guarded by an omnipotent deity that's got its eye on you. I can't even explain it further than that. I'd be happy to answer questions if anyone has any. I like to think my relationship with these drugs is healthy, and I've done a lot of soul searching since. Some drugs are cool, okay? Not blind in the slightest, but I hallucinate through my sense of touch more than any other sense. Acid, really good weed, doesn't matter the substance, textures, weight, the viscosity of the air, etc. All of it changes and or can be messed with while I'm on acid. If I shift my weight from foot to foot enough, the whole room feels like it's on a ship in the middle of a stormy sea. If I'm hot and I touch hairy skin, it feels like a mix of manure, organs and vomit. The ground becomes marshmallow textured. The air feels physically thick when passing my hand through it. I don't see things, I don't hear things, even with high doses, but my sense of touch is so out of whack it's basically hallucination. It freaked me out the first time, but when I realized it's how I hallucinate, I've had fun with it in the times I've tripped since. This should have been marked as serious. I was interested to hear until I tried to read the comments of the non-blind people. Shut up. Can you not read? I dropped acid back in high school. I had a good trip, too good in fact. It's hard to describe, but it was like my brain was made of molten lava racing down bobsled trails. Thoughts were fire. I could understand problems all at once. They weren't even problems long enough to be interesting. The fire spread to my bloodstream, and I could feel my heart pumping lava throughout my body. I kept trying to find things to think about, and as I understood them, it was like explosions going off throughout my brain and body. It was an incredible feeling. I tried a bunch of drugs during that period of my life. Mostly, it was an experiment to see what they were like. LSD was the only one that scared me to death. I could easily become addicted to it. I never tried it again. Rather than resposting this, go and Google the previous threads. There are actual answers. For everyone asking how blind people use a phone/computer and how could blind people see this, you can use a specific device that either connects to your phone Is an app actually installed on your phone/computer, or just a device itself where you can browse social media and it will read off posts/describe pictures for you? Or you can talk and it will write out posts for you. Much better speech recognition than iPhone makes, lol. Or you can use a braille keyboard to type. Also remember, not everyone who is legally blind is completely and totally blind. You can be classified as blind with vision less than 20/200, and this means that you could also use screen applications like Zoom features and such if you can technically see, just not so well. Source: boyfriend is in optometry school plus I have a blind friend. I'm legally blind. I can see many, but never any fine details or far away. My trip helped me see finer details because of the colored blurry outline effects things had when they moved. In general, a heightened awareness and the realizations that follow. It can obviously have various results for different people. The dosage, a pure source, is important and sometimes hard to find. I think if it was studied more and regulated as a medicine, it would help people with addiction, depression or compulsive behavior because it accesses different parts of the brain that aren't normally used. Like if you're someone with repetitive thoughts of self-loathing or suicide. Think of thoughts like a tape recorder playing in someone's mind. LSD hits stop and starts to play a new story. Someone who thinks their life is meant to go a certain way and is very stubborn to believe otherwise might come to a new conclusion that that's not true. The possibilities and potential are much broader than ever imagined. Or maybe it's as simple as a chemical opening your mind. I don't think we should start dropping LSD every day and just quit our jobs and be free. I think it's more about an internal type of freedom. The fear of failure or the limitations of self-doubt. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm not blind, but I'm red-green color blind. Can't see some colors made with red and green, which is like most of them. And one time I was playing with red and blue LED Christmas lights, and I put the colors close together on a wall, and they mixed to make purple, and I could actually see purple. That was the first and only time in my life I've ever seen purple and been able to mentally distinguish it as purple. It was kinda breathtaking if I'm honest. Another time, on acid again, haha, I was explaining color blindness to another friend on acid, and I pointed to some rope and said something about it being blue. It was pink, another color I have a hard time seeing. Then when he pointed out it's actually pink, we laughed, and then when I looked again my brain had like learned that it was pink. So I saw pink. It was wild. I feel like I could only experience those colors because I'm able to kind of imagine them, and since out existence is just a hallucination based on guesses and previous knowledge of our environment, I believe that is why under the powerful influence of psychedelics I was able to see those colors in my deluded state. Comment what the best or worst story was. Also remember to subscribe for more Reddit and anime girls.